Um, for those of you that, before I get started, for those of you that would like to join the Zoom, please feel free to email me and I will add you. This is a safe place for everyone to, feel comfortable of talking about whatever. And I normally would say like spirituality, twin flames, what else was it? Oh, spirituality. But I did have a few of you ask me a couple of times, do we just only talk about spirituality and twin flames and non-duality? But we talk about everything. So just, if you want to join the Zoom, just email me and I will add you. So we'll go ahead and get started. Does any of you guys have anything you would like to talk about?
I'm feeling empty.
Are you? I know.
That's a non-duality joke.
No, it's true. I've been feeling like that too. I did write down.
How about you, Jazz?
Yeah, I'm pretty empty. So
right.
I'll just go with whatever you guys want to talk about. I could just hatch on, I'm hungover and empty, so I don't know.
Okay, so I'll start off with, I don't know about you guys, but and I think me and you talked about this, Monique, a while back ago about crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said that you still have them, and I do too as well. I still wear them, but I no longer hold on to the narrative around crystals. Like I wear them because I like them. I like the way they look. And I still have like a lot of like spiritual stuff in my house as well. Even a Buddha, because I love the way the Buddha looks. But with me, it's like I don't have them around because I believe in them. I like the way they look.
Yeah, me too. Like, and you know what's funny is that, like, when my son went to Thailand, he went to go help the elephants, or he did that a couple of years ago, and he asked me what I wanted. Well, back then I was like, before realization, I was like, just bring me a Buddha, bring me a. He's like, Mom, they're on every street corner. I said, I don't care, I want one. So I have the one that he brought me. It's like this pretty large, like maybe 24-inch Buddha that's bronze or whatever. And it's really cool. And I remember when I got it, I was like, oh, like this will help me be Zen or whatever. But like now it's just this really cool thing, like you said. And as far as, I keep it, I don't like think it has any power, or it doesn't symbolize anything to me anymore, but it's just cool. And as far as the crystals go, like, what's funny is I used to like believe, back in the day about each crystal having a special power or whatever for healing and all that stuff. But even though that fell away, I like have a newfound appreciation for crystals just by like holding them in my hand and looking at the beauty of them, and like thinking this came from the earth and all the multitude of colors and how they look. And it's just like, I'm still like in the moment, blown away by how pretty they are. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, for me with the crystals, I used to go get my chakras cleansed and have like crystals on my third eye and my throat chakra and my heart chakra and like all the way down. And that was like, the beginning of my healing journey. And I would like hold a crystal in my hand every time I was upset and like, oh, it was going to take the energy away. But yeah, like you guys, I like them. My whole room is filled with Jesus pictures, and people would think I'm crazy if they walk in my room. How many religious statues and pictures and things like that. I like it all. I keep it. It's sentimental to me, but it's lost all its meaning. Like I can value it like you, Monique. Like I can appreciate it and say, oh, this is a beautiful thing. But before it somehow I was waiting for it to save me. And it had that meaning, and it's just, there's none of that anymore. That meaning has fell off for me. So
Yeah,
that's my
when I look at the crystals, it's like with me, there's no identifying with it anymore. Like I don't even know what it is. Like I look at it and it's just I like Monique, it's like I see the beauty of it all, but and I don't even know what that is, but I don't know. I'm just mesmerized. I don't know. I guess I don't know. There's just something about them, but with you, Yasmin, when you say like with the Jesus pictures and all of that, I'm gonna be real, y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100, okay? That shit creeps me the fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm terrible, but seriously,
No.
I can't even drive by. Like this woman had this big ass cross in her yard. It was huge. And I was literally like creeped out just by seeing it. Cause in my mind, I'm automatically seeing all the programming and all the like, I think of like a cult and all this shit.
Okay, I'm gonna creep you out.
But before you know, I used to be like,
I'm
oh
gonna,
my
I'm gonna,
the cross. And
can you guys see it?
yeah, I remember you sent me pictures and shit. And I was like, how the hell?
Oh, you have the own
Yeah.
symbol.
I mean, I got Saint Peter, I got Saint Michael, I got Mother Mary, I got Jesus. I don't know if you guys can see that next to my bed. I got three Jesus pictures. And this is, I took this stuff down. And this is
Right.
what's left. I had a church in here.
My mother has it all over her house, and when I go over there, I don't even, when you walk in, I walk in, right, and I just like look at the other way. I won't even look at it. She'll get to talking about it, and I'm just like, because I really just like it creeps me out anymore.
I mean, it could be, it's part of the story, whatever, and every character has their own things that they apparently were attached to before realization, right? So I mean, it's whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like Shannon, I get it, because now I can't, like, because I think because there doesn't seem to be an attachment to anything. The old story, looking at it, is kind of like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I kind of feel sorry for those who are still apparent others who are stuck in that story still, because there's so much control. At least that's how I feel about how that works for people who are in so much fear when, like Jesus was awesome. He was, what I mean? He was non-dual. Like that's so, and not that he was different. He just had the real, I think is what it seemed like, that he was already like born that way or whatever. I don't know. It's his story, but yeah, people will have those attachments still. But I'm kind of like you, like it's nothing. It means nothing.
It gives you hope. I'm sorry. It gives you hope. So religion, spirituality, these crystals, these pictures, Jesus, Mother Mary, whatever. It gives you the seeking energy, the hoping energy to get out, to pray that something will change, and somehow you can get out of your circumstances. Somehow God will save you. Somehow God will change it. Somehow someone's protecting you. And when the self falls off, you just are in deep shit, I mean, you're nothing anymore. There's nothing to pray about anymore. It's like a full acceptance. I can't say full acceptance because there's nobody accepting it, but there's some sort of, this is it. Like that was my first words when I saw Jim Newman. I started cracking up saying, this is it. Like I can't, there's nowhere to go. There's no one to save me. There's no one's going to save me. Nothing's going to change whatever is appearing to appear right now, and these things, you're saying you feel sorry for those people because they're hoping to get out of what they're experiencing. And there's, Shannon always says, there's no getting out of it. There's no getting out of it.
And I don't even identify with the story of Jesus. Like, I don't even know, like, if it's even true. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what any of that is. Like, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's just a story. And, it's something that we were taught, we were programmed to believe is true, where no one really knows. It's been passed down from generation to generation. And it's like, no one knows. No one knows a fucking thing. So this,
Yeah.
even the story of Jesus, I don't identify with it at all. Like, I don't know. When people ask me about it, I'm like, I just really don't know. I can't tell you.
I don't know if I don't know if feeling sorry was the right way to phrase it, but that's probably not exactly it, only because there's who's going to feel sorry. I just think maybe that there's a lot of suffering because I've been there. There's a lot of suffering that goes along with the attachment to a savior of any kind other than what you're already perfect. You're already, whatever. You're already this. I mean, and when that character appears to fall away, at least here, it just it's so abundantly clear that there's nobody here, you know? I don't know if you guys, other topic real quick, I don't know if we can get to it, whatever, but I did have a question because I noticed today on the ride here, I took a 3-hour car ride to go over here to the other side of the state to be with my daughter right now. But I noticed, and this is becoming more pronounced, I think, is that time, the whole time thing is so completely gone. Like, I don't like the 3 hours just seem to go like there's no story in my head going on during the drive. Nothing. It's just like I'm listening. I think I listened to Tim Kliss's latest podcast or whatever. But like it just seemed like it was so, and that's been happening more and more, where it just seems like there's just no concept of time. It's just there's not even barely an awareness of being in the car. It's just so weird. It's so cool. But do you guys experience that or appear to see that?
Or with me,
Um,
you want to go first?
no, go ahead. I'll
Are
go
you,
after.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, no, for me, the only time really is, apparent, whatever, is when I'm working.
Yeah.
That's the only time, like, I notice it then, but other than that, I don't pay attention. I really don't.
Like for me, it's like, okay, like yesterday I went out with my girlfriends and I had a, girls' night, and I know it happened. It was a great time, but I don't even remember it. Like, I don't know it happened, and I don't know what happened this morning. Like, so like I do things and they just fall off. Like there's no memory. But with time, I don't know if like the past 2 weeks it's been weird because of the holidays, but I don't remember shit like the last month. And I don't know if that's going to continue, but I can never explain what it really feels like because you're still living life, but you're not. It's so weird. I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, I had an experience last night, but it feels like I'm not attached to that experience anymore. Like they just keep falling off every day, every second, every minute. That's my experience.
Yeah, same here. I had an epic day yesterday, apparently. Riding with my two really wonderful friends, and I remember feeling like so joyful. Like just, I went to a biker event, and I remembered, but it's apparent to me during the day that the character used to like look at the people around and make judgments like, oh, I bet he's a loser. Oh, like this guy's thinks he's tough. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he's part of a gang. But it was just funny because the only thing I felt yesterday was joy, and just everything was happening dead on, and I was just having a really fun day. And I remember feeling appreciative, like feeling this sense of appreciation, like, wow, this is such a great day. And here we are today. And I haven't thought about it. Like, it's just like, boom, gone. I can
Yeah.
talk about it and remember it, obviously, that it appeared to happen. But like, yeah, there's no going to bed thinking about it. There's no waking up. Oh, yesterday was great. I hope today's as good as yesterday. Oh, today's going to suck because yesterday was great. I mean, it's just like gone. Like, and it's just every minute is just unfolding. And
It's like you're cleaned out every day. You're cleansed out every second, like continuously just like flushed and flushed. It's great. Honestly, it's really, really great. Your relationships are better. Your life is better. But when shit hits the fan, I'm not going to lie, that shit hurts so much more than before. So I mean, there is a downside, but the good stuff is really good, and then the bad stuff is all up in your fucking face and shit, you know, and it's it's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know. For me, it is what it is. Like whatever's happening just happens. And yeah, you're right. Like anymore. And that's something that's weird that you brought that up because even like with me, with anything, like even as far as dating and stuff like that, it's like I no longer like am hard on myself about things not going the way they're gonna go. Or are they you know what I'm saying? Like if it doesn't go right, it doesn't go right. If it does, it does. And I just deal with it head on now, where before, there would be this sense of anxiety. Well, yeah, even if anxiety even pops up, that shit still comes up, whatever that is. It's just, it is what it is anymore. Like, there's no, like, I don't know.
There's no getting out of it. There's no thinking
Yeah.
otherwise. It can't, for me, it's like, it can never be any other way. It is what it is, straight up, and it's honestly, I think it's such a beautiful way to live, because a lot of the comparing stops, a lot of the judgment of yourself and other people stop, a lot of the bad thoughts of what will happen and what won't happen stops. And those are what causes a lot of stress in the human condition,
The story.
So, the story, all the stories, that the stories have stopped. And I don't even think we realize how much other people have stories. Like, we're just like living. People's minds are like blah 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 blah. I'm just like an airhead walking around most of the time.
And the cool thing about that too is, like, on top of everything else, like to me, I feel so much appreciation. But like you said, when the apparent good happens or when the apparent bad happens, neither one you're attached to. So there's no stickiness there anymore either. So, like, I don't know for you, I don't want to speak for you guys, but for me, like, if I had apparently a bad day or something bad is assumingly bad is happening, or feels like I would have resistance to it or whatever, it still doesn't feel like there's a narrative around it. It's just unfolding. There's a preference that it wouldn't be. Don't always like it. But the cool thing is that the story doesn't get created, and there's no suffering, extra suffering, unnecessary suffering that is attached.
All that stuff comes up for me. Everything comes up for me. The story comes up. Everything comes up. I don't care what it is. I can even ask myself, like, why is this happening to me? Like, what the fuck? But I don't know. It's hard to even explain, though. It's like, yeah, all that stuff happens, but it's like, it is what it is. What I'm saying, like, it is what it is. And that's all there is. You know what I mean? But everything comes up for me. Everything. Even like being in my head, like that comes up, but it is what it is. Things come up for me all the time.
Do you ever feel like at the same time good or bad appears to be happening, that there's this undercurrent of like calm, no matter what it is, even when you're angry? I mean, not necessarily when you're like having an apparent argument, but it does seem like as soon as it's done, like that calm wave is underneath it again.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, like all that stuff comes up, and then it comes up, but then like you said, there's that calmness, but there's like no getting out of that shit. Like it's actually ordinary life over here.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Do you feel like, and at least this comes up for me, like you felt when you were a child, that innocence, that, like, I don't know how to describe it other than I remember feeling this way when I was very young, this happy undercurrent, this calm, relaxed, peaceful way that appears to be there a lot. I can remember feeling like that when I was a little kid. That's the only way I can put it.
I think it's different for all of us. And I'm glad you're bringing this up, because like, I wonder what Shannon feels on a daily basis, and what I feel like is different. Like, I don't feel the peace and the childlike, but there's this purity, rawness. I can't hide. I can't lie. I can't, there's, everything is just raw. But I do feel this like equilibrium that it's always gonna just come back to this place, but it can get really, really fucking bad and it can get really, really good. But it always like comes back to this. I can't explain it. It's like this
Neutrality?
solid, yeah, like the solid place. But I don't have like, oh my God, peace and joy and childlike stuff. No, but I'm super pure. I feel I said things yesterday to my friends last night, and I was like, oh my God, like, and I said something that might have hurt somebody, but I know they didn't look at it as I was hurting them because it was so pure. But just super pure, but I don't have the childlike stuff. I don't know about Shannon. Shannon is, what do you feel on a
Well, I think
daily?
with the whole childlike thing, I think, 'cause how when a little kid, when I can see what Monique's talking about, because like when a little kid does something, they do it and then they forget about it. Like it's gone.
Yeah.
That's what the childlike thing is. It's like it comes and goes, basically. Like little kids, their memory span, like they don't remember. Like I watch my grandkids all the time, and watching my Phoenix, she'll do something, and my daughter like, she knows what she's doing. I'm like, Johnny, she's like, while she's doing it though, it happens. I said, and she'll forget about that shit. And she's like, well, why does she keep doing it? I said, because she forgets about it. She doesn't hold on to it. It's gone. She does it, and then she's on to the next thing, and then she may come back and do it because she's like, I told her not to do that. She knows what she's doing. I said, Johnny, and I want to explain to her so much about non-duality, but my daughter just won't get it. But I'm just like, with her, it's coming and going. With the baby, it is. But as they get a little older, that programming starts. And that's
Yep.
when the whole, holding on to shit happens, And I think that's what, I don't know, I could be wrong if that's what you mean, Monique.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at it like, yeah, I do feel that way, Monique. I agree. But for me, childlike is like super happy all the time in my mind. And I'm not always happy, but I pretty much do something and forget about it and do something and forget about it.
What Shannon said is like, that's about her grandchild. I witnessed that myself 3 days ago. We drove our bicycles to the park with my little grandson. We just got there. He's 17 months. He starts climbing up the slide and he falls and he bites through his whole lip, bit through with his, fell, the tooth went through the bottom lip, blood. We cleaned him up. He's fine. My daughter's in full panic mode. We got to go to the pediatrician. We got, but he might need sutures. It was a small, bite through. Cleaned him up. But we were, there was still a lot of concern happening around, and he was fine. He's pointing to the slide again.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, he's fine. He's like, okay, that hurt, ouch. And he's done. And he felt better and he wanted to go back on the slide. We didn't take him. Obviously, we took him home and cleaned it up and looked at it. Decided not to take him to the pediatrician. He was fine. It'll heal. It's tiny. But, that's the difference between conditioning and being in the moment. Like, okay, I feel better, snack squirrel, it's just, yeah. And it's kind of, it was kind of neat to watch it too. Cause they're like, wow, he's already over it.
And even with the child, not everything is always peaceful for a kid neither. I mean, they got their dark moments and their light moments, and it's just, they just deal with it head on. Like when it happens, and then it's on to the next thing. They don't hold on to shit. I know that. And I think that's where we're at. I mean, I can't really say, you know how the non-dual speakers say it's nothing, but you know what I mean? But
This is all there is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh my God, I love these talks because sometimes you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, like or what you're doing. But now it's like, yeah, we're living more of in this childlike wonder, right? And we're just living so free because we deal with that shit head on. Like kids, they have a temper tantrum, they cry their eyes out, and I have temper tantrums too here.
Mm-hmm.
And I let it go. I mean, I don't let it go. It just falls off. Like when it falls off, I don't even have a choice or anything. But yeah, I guess we're living like children. This is great. I'm learning more about what really is happening here.
When you
cool,
talking about,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
The other thing I was going to say is like after an apparent temper tantrum, the old character would have berated itself afterwards, like, oh, you have such a bad temper, you're such an asshole, you're psycho, you're crazy. But the thing is, like, there's no self depreciation anymore. There's no negative self-talk afterwards. There's no, I hate myself, I'm such an asshole, I should be able to hold it together. Because occasionally I have a tantrum too, and believe me, I can throw one down as good as a 2-year-old. But the cool thing is, once the energy's gone, it's spent, and I'm on next thing. Oh, let's watch Frozen. Like, it's like, but I don't know if you guys notice this too. Like, when I'm outside in nature, like, I've always, the character here was, as a little kid, was barefoot running through the woods from the time I could walk, probably. My parents were always having a hard time putting shoes on me because I love the feel of the grass under my feet, and I'm still that way. But when I get outside, like now, it's almost like it permeates me. Like, when I'm in the sun or I'm out for a walk, it's just like this, for me, this overwhelming happy feeling of wow. Like, it's so, it feels like it felt when I was a kid, and that's all I can say, because I can't describe it any other way. It just feels so free.
You know what, Yasmin, when I was talking to you the other day, remember I was not doing too good, and me and you were going back and forth and stuff, and I was telling you how I wasn't, but the whole time though, just being outside, like Monique was saying, it felt good just to be out. When I was talking to you that day, it really felt good. So it kind of bring, when you're outside and you're, I don't know, something about being outside, it kind of changes things. But when you're cooped up in the house, you seem to feel it a little more, like shit really just comes up. It makes you feel a certain way. I don't know, but I get the whole outside thing, or just being outside. I don't know.
Honestly, since like, I was a huge hiker, like crazy hiker, and always in nature. But since non-duality, I haven't. So
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm really pretty much in the house now.
But do you feel things more in the house though when you're in it?
I don't know the difference between being outside, taking a walk, and feeling it in the house, because I haven't been out. So, but I'm going to try that out and see, maybe I can feel better being outside. I think I overdid it with my nature stuff when I was on the spiritual path, that my body's like, I don't want any more grass. I don't want don't hug any more trees. I was freaking psycho, hugging trees and all that shit, So I've been in the house since non-duality.
I know what you're talking about. I did the same thing. I was always trying to like connect with the earth and shit. And that really wasn't who I was, really. Now that I get what you're saying, because you like being in the house and blah, blah, blah. I do too. But I always, but when I get outside, it's like just feeling that air hit my face. It's just a feeling of no other. But I'm a home person. Like, I like to be in the house, but I feel like I feel more dark in the house. I don't know why, but that's just what's happening. Yeah. But y'all were talking about the whole camp when realization happened for you, and everything was like a big blob to you. With me, it was like a canvas. This one big like painting canvas. Yeah. Like, right now, it's like that don't even happen for me anymore over here. Like, I'm really in the story. Like, I'm in it now. I don't even like pay attention to that shit no more. Where before, it's like I was coming in and out of realization. And yeah, like you said, me and you would say it all the time, Yasmin, like things look like cartoons and shit. The trees look more in your face, and just everything just looked magnified. Not no more.
I would crack up. Yeah, I would crack up watching an airplane in the sky and break down. I was like, I'm in a freaking cartoon right now. Like, what is that? Like, but now it doesn't happen to me anymore. I just look at the sky as the sky, but I know it's not real. I know everything is not real, but I don't see it the way I saw it. Maybe I need to go in nature more and maybe do that. But when I was getting in and out of realization, that's when all that shit looked like it was a video game or something.
Amplified, like magnified. Like, yeah, I get that. I still get, not like it was in the beginning, but definitely still, like, that still happens. Like, where if I'm outside, a tree will just all of a sudden feel like it comes into focus, like, and I'm like, whoa. I still get like that feeling like that's so cool sometimes, you know?
I was watching Emerson, and when he was having his one-on-ones with certain people, and all of a sudden, like realization was coming, it was happening, and they were like, kind of their eyes were like this, and they were like drifting. He was like, oh God, it's happening to you. Everything. Do you remember that? Watching him and his one-on-ones, and some of them would like everything was like, they're like, wow. Oh, you know, did you guys see that? Because I don't know if you've seen his one-on-ones.
Yeah, I saw that one. But you know what's funny? When I first like fell into non-duality, if I wanted to make a video or talk to someone, I would just have this big pause. Like Ariana used to like stare at the, you know, like you were different in the beginning of non-duality. You're like you're just like airheaded or something. I don't know, Monique, did you?
So true. Well, that's funny.
Yeah,
Monique,
I
did you
did.
ever have those like moments where you're just kind of like,
I actually did a one-on-one with Emerson, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 3 days after the apparent falling away. And I was so like, wow, about everything. I was just like, and he laughed because he told me about his apparent experience, right? And I was just like, I was so like, still like completely like, it's completely ordinary, but at the same time, you notice it. Like, what the just happened to me? There is no me. Holy shit. Like, like that. It was like when there was a realization that the character wasn't real, that blew my mind. But there was gratitude here. The character did not like itself. There was a lot of apparent suffering there, a lot of self-loathing, and that's just a story. But when it appeared to be realized that it never existed, I was like, bye, bitch.
Yeah. I was so ready to say bye.
I didn't grieve it much. There was some grieving of it a little, but I just, your life changes on every level. And I think at least here for the better. Like, I'm so appreciative that, this is all bullshit. It's not real. It's an illusion anyway. Like, Monique doesn't exist, but like that I didn't apparently die in the character, like, yay, because that's suffering. There's suffering there.
Do you think that's how the baby feels when it's born? Now their eyes are just like this because they're seeing everything, they're looking at everything and it's in their face and they don't know what it is, but they're seeing it. And that's what was happening to me in the car with John. It was comical as hell because when it first started to happen to me, I was like, we were driving, I was like, I was like, I was like, oh, because everything was just so in my face, and he's probably looking at me like, what the fuck is going on?
Where's she on?
Yeah. It was like everything was just so in my face. It was unreal when it first happened. And I didn't even know how to tell him.
The color of a flower. Like, whoa. I remember I grew hibiscus in my yard, and I would just like stare at it like, wow. like I'd smoked a joint or something. Oh, whoa, dude. Whoa. But like I was so like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was in high school, by the way. But you know what I mean? Like, I was mesmerized by it. Like, just the gorgeous colors. I could have looked at it for an hour.
I completely had a different experience than you guys. Like, I was cracking my ass up. It was a freaking cartoon, like Tom and Jerry were gonna pop out. It was a cartoon for me. I was laughing at airplanes and cars and people, like like this is all a joke, like it was. I wish I was mesmerized, but I wasn't. It was, for me, it was some big ass joke. Like, I saw people like as energy and not as like their bodies. It was so creepy, and I don't know, but it was a different experience for me.
We got 1 minute left.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah, we got 1 minute left. Sorry.
All right, ladies. I have to go babysit anyway.
Yeah. I love you guys. I'm glad we talked about this. It's a good conversation.
Yeah.
I'm heading to Laguna Beach tomorrow, so hopefully I'll catch up with my friend over there.
Yeah.
Y'all let me know.
Yeah, you guys take pictures and stuff.
Well, you're in. We're gonna videotape. Send it to you.
You're gonna FaceTime, girl.
Okay, yeah, I'd love that. All right,
Oh, I
guys.
love you guys.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.